Hi guys, welcome back. So today we'll be taking a look at some of the stocks listed in Hong Kong. Before we begin, remember take a second to give the video a like and subscribe as you greatly help our channel. Without further ado, let's first start off with the Hang Seng Index. So as you can see, the Hang Seng Index is very bearish, and in fact, we already broke down this previous low of 18,235. In fact, we hold the 18,235 for about 2 to 3 days, and unfortunately, on Thursday and Friday, we actually broke down it, and we actually closed the week below the 18,000 psychological support level. So that puts us in a very bearish position. So for the resistance to watch for now, it'll be 18.7K, this blue conversion line, and also this 19K psychological resistance here. So looking back in time, after this 18,200, where exactly is the potential next support coming in for the Hang Seng Index? So as you can see, it is 18.2K here, and around these levels here was this very critical support for Hang Seng. Unfortunately, it broke down, so we may be likely to come back and retest this low here. You can see that this low was very long ago, sometime in 2011. So 2011 October period, we actually hit a low of around 16.1K. So we may be coming back to test these levels in the event that the 17,000 psychological support level do not hold true. So let's move on to the Hang Seng Tech Index. So the Hang Seng Tech Index slightly stronger. You can see that even though the Hang Seng Index already broke down the 18.2K, for now the Hang Seng Tech is around 200 points away from this 3463. In the event that we break down, then unfortunately, there's no data to back up any potential supports coming up. So we are looking at 3,300 psychological support and even potentially the 3,000 psychological support, which is still far away. There is still a chance for us to bounce off at these 3463 levels, which is coming very soon. As for the resistance, it will be 3850 and 3973. Moving on to some of its constituents. So for this Tencent, apparently is still trending down. You can see that this 297 broke down. We created a new low at 288. We bounced off, hitting the resistance and coming back down once again. So if we do punch up, then the first resistance to watch would be 291. Second resistance would, of course, be the $300 psychological resistance. So looking to our left, let's take a look at where other potential supports coming in for Tencent. So you can see that there is a strong support coming in at around 2018 October, where we saw Tencent actually going down all the way to 251.4. So this is a potential location where market makers wants to flush some retail investors who actually put their stop losses just below this 250 psychological support level, around 245 to around 248 levels. So there is a potential place for stop hunting. Similarly, there is also this two psychological support to watch out for, will be 260 and also 270 levels in upcoming sessions. Let's move on to 9988 or Alibaba. So true enough, Alibaba, after breaking down this critical support level, you can see that we actually come back to retest this 79.65 of this particular recent low here. But it seems like the selling pressure is still not stopping, even breaking down this $80 psychological support on Friday itself. So this puts us in a very, very good position to actually come back to retest this $71 psychological support. If we break down, then the next support will be the $60 psychological support. Similarly, we can look at the resistance. It will be 85 and 88. Let's move on to Meituan. So as you can see, Meituan started losing momentum. We traded sideways. There was a form of higher low here. This was the high. Then there was a more continuous selling pressure and creating higher lows here. So this is a sign of a very much like a downtrend. So looking at the support at 161.2, if we do not hold it next week, it puts us in a good position to actually come back to test this 23.6% at 150 levels. If we break down, then 130 is the next support in line. For the resistance, it will be 171 and 177. Let's move on to NetEase or 9999. So for NetEase, once again, it broke down this very critical support as mentioned previously. This support cannot break down, but it broke down, and we closed the week at around this 23.6% at 123.6 levels. So we would likely to be coming back down to test this 108.3 levels, and thereafter would be the $100 psychological support level, which is very critical for NetEase. For the resistance to watch, it would be this blue conversion line at 131 and 134 levels. Moving on to NIO on 9866. So as mentioned last week, 9866. Critical resistance will be this 61.8% at 174.3. You can see that sellers appeared at this level and we pull back down. Unfortunately, the cloud could not act as a support and we started breaking down pretty badly. So it puts us in a very good position to test this 134. After this 134 level were to break, then potentially we may go down to 23.6% at 124, or even potentially testing the $100 psychological support level. Resistance will be 154 and 157. Moving on to JD.com. So JD, similar situation. We already broke down the 23.6% at 209. So the $200 psychological support would be likely to be tested and even broken next week. 189 is the next support. If we break down, then 160.2 may be seen in the upcoming weeks ahead. Resistance will be 223 and 229. Moving on to Baidu or 9888. So for 9888, no surprise, we broke down this 38.2% at 123.9. Next support at 116.4, likely to be coming down to retest this 104.2, or even potentially the $100 psychological support. The resistance is pretty far away, 126 and 131 levels. Moving on to AIA or 1299. So 1299, I already broke down this $70 psychological support level. There is, as of now, no support upcoming. Let's take a look at some of the data back then. So you can see that after this $70 psychological support here, we would likely to be coming down to test this very critical support at the $60 psychological support level, or even 61, 62 near the 60 low 60 levels. As for the resistance, let's head back and take a look at the resistance. The first resistance to watch would be this blue conversion line at 72 and 74.30. If you can punch up, then that would be good. But not forgetting, there is also cloud resistance on the way. Moving on to PingAn or 2318. So very similar situation to AIA. There is no more data to look. So we need to look at the back. And currently we are trading at around $42. So of course, this $40 psychological support would be the next in line before potentially testing 38 or even low 30 levels for PingAn. So things are very bearish for PingAn, and you can clearly see that this is a very clear sign of a downtrend. Higher lows here and lower lows, and hitting the cloud resistance and pulling continue to fall further. Resistance to watch would be around $44, $45. Lastly, let's talk about Xiaomi Corporation or 1810. So you can see similar to PingAn, AIA, even Tencent. $10 psychological support broke down. We're on the $9 territory right now. Looking back, you can see that things are really starting to turn very ugly. It's a very critical support to watch will be in the upcoming session will be 960 levels. So if this 960 do not hold, and in fact, we already started to break down this level here at around 920 rather, 920. Then we may be coming back down to even 850 levels for this potential support to come in. You can see that we actually accumulated here for a period of time. So buyers may come back at around 850 or $9 levels for this Xiaomi Corporation. So overall, you can see that the Hang Seng Index and even Hang Seng Tech and even some of its constituents are all very bearish in the upcoming sessions. So if we do not see a bounce next week at critical support levels, then unfortunately we may start creating lower lows, new lows, and even potentially very low to a point that until retail investors start cutting losses, or even if we start seeing panic selling. So hopefully we can get a bounce. If not, we will see more sellers appear. So if there's any changes, I'll give you guys an update. Thanks for stopping by. Till we meet again. Appreciate the manipulation.